This is the rate of monetary expansion, and this is different than what we typically have in inflation.
Really nice.
Alright, let's do it.
Okay. Hello Tom, nice to meet you here at Baltic Honeybadger Day 2. So, a couple of questions and we're going to concentrate on trading primarily.
Sounds good.
Probably a couple of words about yourself to our audience, just
Sure.
a short introduction, so they'll know for sure who you are and why we're talking about trading.
Hey guys, my name is Vays. I came into this space publicly around 2014. Prior to that, I was working on Wall Street. My first job was at Bear Stearns. Right before the financial collapse, moved on to JP Morgan. Mostly worked in risk analysis, building risk models, but lots of trading experience was always my passion. Quit my job to be a trader and doing a little bit of public speaking in Bitcoin. And now traveling the world, speaking about Bitcoin, educating people how to trade. Really hard to trade from the road, but I will get back to it any day now.
Okay, so the first question, there was lots of talks during this conference in particular about the Bitcoin as a new standard, and during their sessions gold is an asset to which most of the investors try to diversify. Is it something relevant to Bitcoin? So the next recession is sort of coming. Is it the asset to transfer to?
It's a little bit trickier. It's actually challenging because what I learned in the 2008 financial crisis is that gold also crashed. And it takes a little bit of time to understand why did gold and silver crash with 08 crisis. That's because when there is a real financial crisis, people lose their jobs and companies start to go out of business. And the last thing people want to do is use their money to speculate into gold. In fact, if you have gold, if you have like your wife has jewelry and you just lost your job, guess what you're doing? You're selling the gold, you're selling the jewelry. So Bitcoin being this speculative, risky asset, I think Bitcoin has enormously benefited over the last 10-year bull market in stocks and private companies, because this means in the last 10 years, people have gotten better jobs, they've gotten raises, they've done well, and they're able to speculate on things like Bitcoin. So we don't really want a big financial panic. What we want is small scares. We want trade war between US and China. We want China stopping people from moving money out of the country. We want countries threatening to leave the Eurozone to go back to their own currencies. You want these scares, but you don't want to actually happen. Like what happened in Greece in 2015, when the Greek bank shut down, it's too late. You can't buy Bitcoin, you don't have access to your money. But when the Greek bank shut down, people in Spain and people in France and people in Italy, they start thinking, what if our bank shut down? We should buy Bitcoin because it's unconfiscatable, it's censorship resistant. So you want the scares, but you don't want it to actually happen.
Thank you. Quite a lot of traders, especially nowadays, the chats in the crypto industry is all about altcoins, whether the altcoin season is coming or not, and I think it's quite a lot of talk actually and debate about that. What are your thoughts about this?
I believe the alt season is not coming. I have been saying for quite, I was very disappointed with the mentality of people and how crazy they got in 2017 with the altcoins and ICOs. And I always seem to underestimate human behavior. I really thought people had learned from the dot-com crisis. Maybe it's because I'm older, but it looks like they haven't. Every single mistake that was done by speculators in the late 1990s were repeated exactly the same in 2016 and 2017 and going into 2018. And just like with the dot-com bubble, those useless companies that didn't have a product, that didn't have revenue, that didn't have profit, forget profit, they didn't even have revenue. They were just hyped up because of the stock and some idea and some nice fancy web developer. Those companies never came back. And I believe the same thing is going to happen here. I think only Bitcoin is really investment grade, and I think everything else is just complete and utter hype. And I don't think they're coming back. I think it will be Bitcoin. I don't think people keep saying how, well, the market wants choice, the market wants choice. The market really doesn't want choice. The market wants a standard. They want to choose within the same standard. And like you're using an iPhone, I still don't understand why Apple hasn't figured out that people want the same charging cord for both the cell phone and the laptop. They want a standard. Sure, they want different phones, but they want the same charger. They want the same outlet. People want to drive on the same side of the road as they go from England to Paris.
Yeah.
These are gross inefficiencies. And people don't want 1,800 different currencies to choose from to pay. They want one that works, that's a store of value, that's unconfiscatable, and that works. And you build everything on top of that.
What would be your piece of advice for the traders who's just beginning his role in terms of trading?
Education. I think it's really important to really learn how to trade. For a beginner trader, there's a couple of things that are really important. One of them is just starting slow and education. It's so hard to meet a successful long-term trader that did not have really hard time in the beginning. I know my first account that I was trading, I pretty much lost it all. I came back and I did so much better. You learn your lessons. I always worry about traders that never had any problems because then they start trading bigger and bigger and bigger, and then when they have a problem, it's really, really big. So that's okay. Everyone goes through troubles. Trading is a very difficult job. Also, people forget that money management and risk, position sizing and risk is like 80% of the challenge. This guy can be a great directional trader. This guy is not. But the one that's not can be a much more successful trader if he knows how to properly allocate risk. It's just more important, and people forget that. So risk analysis and proper position sizing is absolutely critical.
And the last question. We finished with that question to all our interviews during the Baltic Honeybadger. Just a yes or no. Should I invest in Bitcoin?
Absolutely. People can try to time the market, and that's great. But when people say, when should I buy Bitcoin? My answer has always been, you should have bought it yesterday. If you have a 5-year horizon, if your horizon is past the next halving of Bitcoin, you should always have some exposure to Bitcoin. Maybe not rush into it when it's gone up, 300-400%. But anytime Bitcoin has been steady, or anytime Bitcoin has fallen a good 40-50%, it's always a great time to buy it, as long as you understand why you're buying it. But those that buy into Bitcoin for the sole purposes of getting rich, you're going to find out how disappointed you're going to be. It needs to be something you understand why you're buying.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.